Whether you are a teacher or a homeschool mom, one question that teachers will hear from their students is, when will I ever use this in the real world? Unfortunately, many teachers never answer that question, even though it is a legitimate question and one that could help your students retain what he's supposed to learn. Research shows that relevant learning means effective learning, and that alone should be enough for us to rethink how we teach. Welcome to Ruth's Straight Talk, the channel designed to help you, your students, and your children live fuller lives, become lifelong learners, and grow into the awesome human beings you were designed to be. I'm Cynthia Ruth. In this video, I will introduce several strategies to help bring relevance to your students. Also, don't miss my bonus tip on how to help your student at the end of this video. So let's get right to it. When a student attempts to learn new material, he must have some prior knowledge to attach that new material to, or the student will not be able to retain that new material. When a student gets new information that's unrelated to anything that he already has stored in his brain, he cannot retain it because he has no scaffolding to cling to. Effective teachers will help the students to put new information into a context where he has old information located, so that new information becomes stored in his long-term memory. Students need a personal connection to the material, or they will not only disengage and quickly forget the new material, but they will also lose the motivation to try to retain it. If a student doesn't believe an activity is interesting, relevant, or something that he would need to use in his life, he will mentally reject it. So let's take a look at mathematical relevance. Relevance occurs when a person is able to use something in real life, or when a person can use the information in their personal life. That is why schools have prerequisite courses such as Introduction to Algebra and Algebra 1 before allowing students to take Algebra 2. Without that relevance, important concepts may seem very unimportant. So how can we make learning more relevant exactly? Well, relevance is one of the most important aspects of teaching and learning. So as a teacher, it is your job to help the students to see the relevance in content that they may not even find interesting. And if you do this, your students will engage in class and be motivated to work even outside of the class. So no matter how disinteresting content may seem, once the student has determined that that content is worth knowing, it will hold their attention and they will be an engaged student. So here are some tips to bring relevance to your students. Number 1, use suspense and keep it fresh. Drop hints about new learning units before you reveal what it might be. Leave gaping pauses in your speech, etc. All this can activate emotional signals and pique their interests. Number 2, give the students autonomy. Give students a choice of assignments on a particular topic, or ask them to design one of their own. When students design their own projects, they will take ownership of that learning. Number 3, use prior knowledge and develop goals. At the beginning of the lesson, brainstorm about what students already know and would like to learn about their topic, and help them to create some goals for learning. Number 4, Show examples on how this information can be used. Answer the question, yeah, but when am I ever going to use this? So explain how important that content is for future goals, both short-term goals and long-term goals. Usefulness provides relevance first by piquing the students, telling them the content is important to their future goals. It then continues by showing or explaining how the content fits into their plans for the future. This helps students to realize the content is not just interesting but also worth learning. Number 5, build relatedness. Relatedness, on the other hand, answers the question, what does this have to do with me? It is important for the student to feel close to the significant people in their lives, including their teachers. Relatedness emphasizes the relationship the instructor has with his students. That is, the students feel close to their teachers, and so they are more likely to listen to learn from, and identify with the teachers that they like. Students begin to value what that instructor says, seeing it as something worth learning because the instructor sees it as something worth learning. This is why genuine enthusiasm expressed during the instruction is important. It shows the student how important that content is to the instructor. The bonus strategy, the teacher's unique opportunity. As instructors, one of the most important things that we can do is to provide relevance for students. It gives them a context where they can develop into engaged, motivated, and self-regulated learners. Relatedness is important to the students of all ages, and you can use that relatedness to mold your students to become avid learners of the future. Usefulness is important as students become older and choose courses that will help them achieve their career goals. Relevance is exceptionally important to students who are required to take courses they did not choose, such as general education courses. Relevance can help these students realize how useful all knowledge can be. Fulfilling students' need for relatedness, showing them how to seemingly unrelated content fits together and then into their own scheme of things, and giving students real reasons why today's content can be useful to them later on in many ways that will provide them the relevance that they need to absorb that material. You can help them to discover what you're teaching is actually interesting and worthwhile. So there you have it, several tips to help your students find relevance in what you are trying to teach them. If this video has helped you, please leave me a comment at the bottom of the screen. Also, if you have a story, a tip, a strategy, a question, or just some advice that you would like me to share with my audiences, please also leave me a comment at the bottom of the screen. Click on these videos above for more awesome information on education and parenting. As always, thank you so much for visiting with us at ruthstraighttalk.com. It has been a pleasure, so until next time, happy learning and goodbye.